Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a law that's set to change the very landscape of work in India, the Industrial Relations Code of 2020. Now, this isn't just some boring legal update, it's a complete rethink of the relationship between employers and employees. So, what does it actually mean for businesses and for the millions of people who work for them? Let's get into it. To really get why this matters, just picture India's economy as this huge, powerful engine. What keeps that engine running smoothly? Well, it's the relationship between companies and their workforce. For years, that engine has been running on a pretty complex and, frankly, outdated system of laws. The new IR code is a bold attempt to give that engine a major upgrade, to make it more efficient and harmonious for the 21st century. So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the blueprint for harmony. Then we'll get into fairness for every worker, the new rules for dialogue, a safety net for change, and finally, what this all means for India's industrial future. All right, so let's start at the beginning. What was the actual problem this new code was designed to solve? I mean, why go through the trouble of such a massive overhaul of India's labor laws? Let's dig in. At its very core, this code is all about one thing: balance. It's trying to walk this tightrope of creating a single, streamlined law that does two big things at once, making it way easier for businesses to operate and grow, while at the same time making sure the rights of every single worker are absolutely protected. And this is a huge deal. For decades, if you were a business or a worker, you had to navigate this maze of three separate and often conflicting laws. It was confusing, it slowed things down, and it just made it hard for anybody to know where they stood. The new code basically takes that maze and turns it into a straight road, creating one single, unified rulebook for everyone. Okay, so that's the big picture. Now let's zoom in a bit. What does this actually mean for you, for the individual worker on the ground? What new rights and protections does the code bring to the table? This is where things get really interesting. One of the absolute game changers here is something called fixed-term employment. In the past, if you were on a short-term contract, you often got the short end of the stick. Fewer benefits, less protection. This code says, nope, not anymore. It mandates equal pay, equal hours, and equal benefits for equal work. It even makes you eligible for gratuity, that end-of-service bonus after just 1 year. It's a massive step towards fairness. But it's not just about pay and benefits. The code also recognizes that real harmony in the workplace starts with good communication. So to make sure that people are talking before problems blow up, it introduces a brand new mandatory body. So check this out. For any company with 20 or more employees, a grievance redressal committee is now required. This creates a formal, official channel to solve issues. And here's a really crucial part. The code specifically mandates that women must be adequately represented on these committees. That is a huge move towards ensuring a more balanced and fair process for everyone. Okay, so we've talked about individual rights. Now, let's zoom out again to collective bargaining. How does this new code change the game for trade unions and the whole process of resolving those bigger disputes? In the past, a company might have had to deal with a whole bunch of competing unions, which could get messy and slow everything down. The new code really streamlines this. Now, the rule is simple. If a single union has the support of at least 51% of the workers, it becomes the one and only negotiating body. The idea is to create a much more focused and productive conversation between management and employees. And what happens when those conversations break down? Well, the code introduces a standard process for things like strikes or lockouts. And, this is key, it applies to all industries, not just a few. The main goal here is to give mediation a real chance to work first. Here's how it works. Before any strike or lockout can happen, a mandatory 14-day notice has to be given. Now, this isn't just a waiting period. That 2-week window is specifically designed for mediation to happen, to give both sides a critical opportunity to find a solution before everything grinds to a halt. It's all about solving problems, not creating standoffs. Let's be real. In today's fast-changing economy, job security is a huge concern for a lot of us. So, how does the new code tackle this? Well, it introduces a new kind of safety net, one that's designed not just to protect workers, but to help them adapt. First, there's a new rule for bigger companies. We're talking about any industrial establishment with 300 or more workers. Management can't just decide to lay people off or shut down shop anymore. They now need to get permission from the government first, which adds a really important layer of scrutiny and protection for those large workforces. And this is where the code gets really forward-thinking.
It sets up something called the Worker Reskilling Fund. This isn't just a payout, it's a dedicated resource to help workers who've lost their jobs learn new skills and get back in the game. It's a proactive way of dealing with the modern job market.
So, how does this fund actually work? Let's say a worker gets laid off. The legal term for that is retrenched. The new system is designed to kick in right away, providing a crucial lifeline when it's needed most.
The fund provides a direct payment to that worker, and it's equal to 15 days of their last salary. This isn't just a token gesture, it's real financial support to help them bridge the gap while they figure out their next move.
And this support arrives quickly. It's credited directly into the worker's account within 45 days. You can think of it as an investment in their future, giving them the resources to reskill and get back on their feet. So when you put all of these pieces together, the simplification, the new rights for workers, the focus on dialogue, the new safety nets, what does the big picture look like? What's the ultimate vision here for India's industrial future? It really all boils down to this. The Industrial Relations Code of 2020 is being framed as more than just a new set of rules. It's being presented as a promise, a vision for an economy that's balanced, that's resilient enough to handle whatever comes next, and that's ultimately harmonious for both businesses and the people who make them run.
There's no doubt, this is an incredibly ambitious piece of legislation. It really does have the potential to completely transform India's industrial landscape. But the big question, the one we're all left with, is this. Will this new blueprint actually build the harmonious future it promises? Well, that's a story that's only just beginning to unfold. Thanks for joining me.